I mean, we couldn't go through a, journey in all of our lives, but, really honoring our sense of self and learning how to honor that is something that the school really nurtures. So that's a big one. The teachers and just everyone there just lets you be yourself. And I mean, I started in grade 7 there, through grade 9, and that's when you're really developing and you're learning who you are and you're really trying to express yourself. So for me, that was a big part of the school. And there were also so many fun experiences that I had there. There were a lot of outdoor excursions at the time. When I was actually going on these long hikes and packing my own backpack and carrying it, I was not thrilled about it. But then after the whole experience, I just realized, wow, this is pretty amazing. And to this day, I just still think how amazing some of these experiences we had there were just so unique. First of all, when I started, I was one of the first students, and I believe there were 13 or 14 students in the whole school at the time. So now there's between 64 and 72 students, and the class sizes is just one grade, and there's only around 18 students per grade. So that's a big thing, is the size of the school. We developed such close friendships throughout those 3 years that I was there, and it was like family. I also think that the teachers were amazing. To this day, students are able to call the teachers by their first name. You really have this trust relationship, this connection, a strong, deep connection with the teachers. When I was there, we did these outdoor adventures, like I said, 3 times a year. And we would take about a week and we would do these incredible experiences. One, the first time is you hike up on Garibaldi Mountain, which is, a really big trip. We carry our own backpacks, we pack everything, we camp out. We also go skiing in cross country skiing. We learn that. And then in the spring, summer, we go on a really big kayak adventure and we camp out, on an island there. So those were, coming back then when I was there as a student, those were big deals. That was really fun. We would do that in every grade, every year with all of the whole school. And the other thing that I may or may not have really realized at the time, but now I do, is they really developed your critical thinking, a lot of critical thinking skills. There was a lot of space for conversation, for debates, for discussion around real life topics, politics. And that really helped, exercise that side of you as a young kid, I would say, or just, developing again. You are kind of coming out of your shell. And so this really helped, the teachers nurtured you to have these conversations in a safe space. I would definitely say there's a few, but I would say the top 3 would be welcoming, because it's very homey. You really feel like you're welcomed in the school by everyone, the community, the teachers, the students. Adventurous. There is just so much fun. There's, involved in the school on, really, like I said, the outdoor excursions, but just day-to-day learning. The programs that are involved, it's just really, there's so much adventure and fun involved with that. And I would definitely say inclusive, really, really, supportive and embracing everyone, and just, honoring each other, for who you are. Those would be some really top personality traits, I would say, about the school. I would absolutely say that there is a lot of opportunity for the grades to be mixed and to do things together and to support each other. So grade sixes really, there's a lot of things that they will do with the grade nines. Um, and, so you just feel like you're one big family. And so there's, again, lots of activities that are done together, lots of different events, lots of different you know projects that you get to do together. So that's a big part, that just kind of, it's like you're kind of one common, you're all one in a way. The one thing that is really ingrained in the students, and I mean, it really is truly the philosophy of the school, but the students believe in it as well. And that's courage, wisdom, and integrity. And those really are those are true reflections of the school and of the students that when they leave the school. And those were, I remember for myself, values that we talked about a lot and use those in examples, for our own individual, self. And integrity was a big one as well, where we really have, we need to be responsible for our own actions, and we learn that, as we go. And I really think that they bring that out with all of, the students over the years, and they really help nurture and teach that to us. And so, yes, it's what the school says, but it's also, I think, what most of the students would also see from the school as well, from their perspective. So the school is located on an island, and a lot of people would think that most of the students come from just Bowen Island. But now, from what I recall, and even for myself, there's a large percentage of students and families that live off the island. So they live where we call the North Shore, which is, basically just a ferry ride, a 20-minute ferry ride to the island, to the school. So, there's a hesitation for families in particular to travel over onto the ferry. I even know myself, like, when I was a student there, I lived on Bowen Island for part of the time, and then we moved back onto the North Shore. And so, I was really worried about what that would look like in the beginning as a student, but it was amazing. The experience of traveling, actually at that age, is really fun. You learn your independence a lot more. You really kind of are, on your own for 20 minutes, and you can connect with other kids and friends and do homework and whatnot. And so that's a big part. I think that's a big surprise is, the commute is fun. There's a large amount of students that actually live off the island, not just on the island. And yeah, I mean, again, I think that there is such a strong sense of community at the school as well. So when you're in the school, it's not a traditional experience. It's not a traditional structured necessarily experience at the school. While there are structured classes and courses, it doesn't always feel like that. I think the middle years for me really did, help me get out of the shell of mine. And it really built confidence in myself. And I really think that the experiences that I had at the school, um, really helped, again, express myself in moving back into the last few years of high school and beyond, in terms of how public speaking. Like, I would probably not have, really found a lot of interest in hiking if I didn't go on those big hiking adventures. And so now I have, way more confidence getting out there, hiking, getting into nature, learning how to, like literally learn how to like put a tent up, like those. So there's a lot of practical learnings that I know and I feel like I learned when I was at the school. I was very shy. So while, I said like I was really coming out of my shell, uh, I don't know if I realized the value that I was getting again at the time, but I also think that I wasn't always present for myself in the experiences that I have. And, I don't want to put so much pressure on myself at that age, but I would say, um, enjoying some of those times. I may not have appreciated all of the experiences that I had back then, but now I absolutely do, being a parent of two young kids and, in a few years making a decision in terms of where are they going to go, for their next, journey into education. And now I can see that value. Now I can see, what that looks like for them. There's some strong memories that came out of that school. So it's just, almost growing even more now. Like I can almost go back and think about them even more now than I did before because, I'm older and I can appreciate things a little bit more than I did before. The age of the students that are going there, it's such a um, important time to build confidence, to grow and evolve, and to develop so many different skills. And really, mostly is to have a strong sense of self. Everybody is has their own personality and feels comfortable there, and again is inclusive and supportive of them. Another one that I would say is that when you are graduating in grade 9 there's a program called Masterworks, which is like a TED Talk. This is one experience that I absolutely have learned so many skills from over the years. And it is one that the grade nines will pick a topic that they are really interested in at the very beginning of the year, and they actually have advisors that come on and they will write like a formal proposal. They'll create a thesis for it, and then at the very end of the year they are to present it to the community, and they come together and they present their topic and why they're interested. And again, there's a lot of critical thinking that's involved in that. So I probably wouldn't have realized it at the time, but there's a lot of things now of what I'm interested in and what I went to university for because of the topic I did. The last reason I would definitely say is the community experience. There's some things that the school does within their own, on the island, that they're always, giving back to the community with, or helping with community service, volunteering. There's a lot of that. But it's fun. And so doing it in a fun way and teaching, kids at that age in terms of what does giving back do? Why do we give back? That's another really big part of what, again, I see is very unique and different to the school. I've said a lot about the adventures and the experiences that the school has, but they're an IB program. So there is, a real strong level of learning that is involved as well. There's a lot of learning on their own in terms of how can they, again, critical thinking and, how they want to learn going into a new learning environment. They are much better, they're more ready, I find. So it is a big decision. It is hard, and especially for families who perhaps may, again, be worried if they're not living on the island and they're worried about the commute. There's a large, I think it's grown over the years. It's a carpool system that is grown with the parents on the North Shore. And they have developed such strong friendships with those families. And they are all, it's like a small little community within the community, and they just really help out. I really think that this school is a school that really helps nurture and grow your child in such a incredible way. Going into any new school and perhaps not knowing anyone can be scary, intimidating, a lot of unknowns there when you first start a new school. But I would absolutely say that in within like the first day of going to the school, you will just feel at home. You will feel comfortable. Again, the teachers are so incredibly welcoming. I believe now you actually have the grade eights that are going into grade nine, helping the new students transition into the school, and the families all come together as well. There's a sport that the school is known for. It's called ultimate. You use a frisbee, and it is such a fun game. And I believe like there's tournaments that we get involved that the school gets involved in, and that is like the main sport. So it is super super fun. Kids love it. Sometimes there's times where like it's kids versus like students versus teachers, and everybody comes out there. And that's just like for new students, if you're kind of wondering, okay, well, if I really like sports, and what's all involved in that. Ultimate is so fun, and it's something that's so different, and it's just a really fun team sport. So yeah, there's lots of different new things, but fun and very welcoming. And you will feel at home within the first few days that you are starting school.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.